Hi, today we're going to be doing a start to finish, get ready with me, but it's when you know that your skin needs a little bit of help with prepping it before your makeup, as well as just having a nude, very basic day-to-day makeup application, just looking put together, right? So if this sounds like you're needing a little help maybe with this, I think you're going to enjoy this video.
If you're here, then you woke up today. And that is a blessing. Don't take that for granted. Don't waste it.
So if it's your first time here, my name is Lisa and this is Beauty from Inside and Out. If you have been here, thanks for coming back and watching some more videos. Just getting my hair out of my way because the first thing that we're going to do today is, and the first thing I normally do is prep my under eyes. Our under eyes, I don't know if that's an issue for you, but I know for me, as I continue to have my skin age another year, it needs a little bit of help. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I take a little bit of this Caffeine serum, and it is with the Ordinary. I just put a little drop, less than a dime size, just under my eyes, right? And what I will put on while I prep the rest of my face are these under eye patches. Okay, so this is with a company called, I think it's called Dieux. It's spelled D-I-E-U-X. I went ahead and purchased these because it's something that I feel like I need to do more often than not. And I used to purchase the ones that were disposable, but that started to get very costly. So prep your skin underneath with some kind of serum. Again, I like to use the Caffeine that helps with any kind of puffiness under my eyes that I will have for whatever reason from the day before, whether it's lack of sleep, too much salt, you name it. So I will prep my eyes first and leave these on for about a good 5 to 10 minutes. Sometimes I'm grabbing a cup of coffee. Sometimes I'm starting already with the rest of my skincare, which is what I'm going to go ahead and do now to save some time. Although I should have grabbed a cup of coffee. Okay, so here I have this on now, and it is just starting to do the work. It really does help just have that hydration underneath my eyes. That is so telling. I think there's certain things that we can do as we're aging that's just gonna help with the makeup that's gonna sit on our face after the skincare and just the appearance just all together. Okay, so the next thing that I do is that I put on the a multi-peptide serum. I used to grab vitamin C. I can still do that from time to time. It's probably a great antioxidant to use for your face. This has that as well. It is so good and so hydrating and so perfect for the skins for the elasticity. I don't even remember if I'm saying that right. Elasticity. That's a hard, tough word. But I put on just like 3 drops. I take this and I put on without it touching my skin. I don't know, and I'm sure that you have heard how you want to not let the droppers that you're using like touch the skin of your face, right? It goes right back into the bottle and it contaminates anything. So I just kind of let it just drop down onto my skin without it touching the skin. Okay, so I like to get this under my neck. I really try not to avoid that area of my face, right? It's a part that we also address when it comes to our makeup application, right? We are wanting to get some coloring on our necks to kind of match our faces. But this serum, guys, is so good. It is, I can feel actually like the hydration and all of the goodness in this. It has so many benefits to using a peptide serum. So I will go ahead and put this on all over, even on my eyelids. Now, the next thing that I always do without a fail, is put on sunscreen. I've been using this one and reaching for it. It's by K-Beauty. They are honestly, the Korean sunscreen or skincare in general is so good. There's so many different things that you can look on the market to find what's going to fit for you. And it's just one of the many different skincares. The other, not skincare, but sunscreen. The other thing about sunscreen is that they're all also created so differently. So depending on what your skin is needing that day, sometimes you need a little bit more moisturizer. You can find a sunscreen that has that. Sometimes you can get a sunscreen that has a tint. I use those from time to time if I want to go with less makeup, but just have a little bit of my skin looking like it's been tanned a little bit. But I will go ahead and put this on, and you're supposed to put on quite a bit to kind of like finger lengths. I just put it on the back of my hand. And then I kind of do a dot method to make sure that I'm not missing anything on my face. I want to make sure that my face is going to get covered. Now, I will probably go back, since I have my under patches, and do the under my eyes as well, because I do want to make sure that I am getting the sunscreen everywhere that it needs to go. So this is like, without a doubt, something that I do daily, whether the sun is shining or not. There's been so many days, I know that you remember, right? Like you're sunbathing and you're thinking, oh, it's so overcast. And that's usually the time when you end up getting like the worst sunburn, because you don't kind of realize that the sun is not out, and you think, oh, I can go ahead and stay out a little longer. Yeah, not good. We've all been, I think, an example of just getting sunburned to the point where you're so red or your skin gets so dry. It's just so not good. And as you age, you really do start to see that. Okay, so again, just going around, and we'll go back in there with some of these to get under the eyes, especially with that sunscreen. I usually do the ears as well, depending on kind of like the haircut I have. If I have a lot of my ears showing, then I usually cover that as well. While I let this sit under my eyes just a little bit longer, I'm gonna prep my lids with a primer. And again, there's so many different primers. I will try different things just to see how it feels, how the eyeshadow is going to hold longer that day. Sometimes it's just because I like the way it feels, right? Even on my lids. So this one's from e.l.f. One is a luminous putty primer, and this one is a matte. So I'm going to use the matte one. The luminous is really pretty. It will give it like a little bit of a shine almost underneath your shadow. But I'm going with this one, which is a more matted primer. And it's like so important to choose a primer for your lids if you really want longevity on your eyeshadow look, and if you are going for more of a pretty eye look that you don't want it to you want it to stay put, right? So choosing a primer for your lids is really, really important. Also, as our skin gets more textured on the lid as we age, it's gonna avoid having the shadow kind of fall into those finer lines when you prep your lids with a primer. Okay, so that's by e.l.f. Love that for my eye primer. So let's go ahead and take these off. The nice things about these also is that, again, they are reusable. So it comes in this case. And what I do is just rinse them off with a little bit of like warm soapy water. And then I place them back in here. So I'm going to just place these here for now and then take care of that later. But that's how you get to have that, and you use it over and over again. So again, I'll put everything I'm using down below in the descriptions. Okay, so let me go back in with a little bit of sunscreen under my eyes because I didn't get that done while that was taking care of any puffiness, but I don't know if you can see, it just looks so hydrated. It doesn't have that puffiness under your eyes because of that caffeine serum and those patches. Really, really good. Okay, so took care of the sunscreen. Let's go in now with one of the first things that I do. Going back to the nude look, the less is more is so much better when your skin is aging. You can definitely wear as much makeup as you want. But I think on a day-to-day, techniques and tweaks that you can do can really help you not have on that much makeup, right? So one of the things that I have found that it works as far as, first of all, using like a 1-layer makeup application is by using cream. Seriously, it has so many advantages to using cream makeup, and that's one of them. But also the steps in how you even apply your makeup when it comes to cream can help. And what I mean by that is that I usually bronze first, and I've been using that method, and it's really been helping me kind of like frame out my face. Seeing how the warmth, bringing that into my face, really eliminates having to then put on all the things. But before that, I usually prep my skin. Okay, and what I have been using, and this is so good, guys. I'm gonna say that this it's a combination of things. So it's gonna help your skin feel hydrated, stay hydrated. It's called a plush prep mist. So it can be used clearly as a setting spray, but it helps also with just the hydration to your skin. You can put this on before your makeup and even after, and keep applying even throughout the day, okay? It's got a beautiful mist to it. I mean, it says that it's a mist, but I don't know if ever you've used some of the, just look how it hydrates the skin. It is so good. I just let that sit there for just a few minutes before I go in with my bronzer. But this is so good. It is with Seint. Again, everything will be in the links below. Very newer product that came out with Seint. It's not even a year old. I love it. I love it so much. So what I would say is I have normal to dry skin. So keep that in mind when it comes to using certain products that I'm mentioning. I'm not sure if this setting spray would help with someone that has more of an oilier skin barrier or not. So for the most part, it's amazing on, I believe, all types of skin, but I can totally vouch for dry to normal skin. So love this spray for setting the makeup. So let's go in with now the bronze. So this one is called High Tide. It is with Seint. I take my brush, and this is the blush and bronzer brush. It's got a really fatter bristles, right? It gives you enough room with enough give to start to bronze my face. And what I do is I kind of start on my neck. So I go down from the bottom of my chin and I just start to even out kind of my skin tone from my face, right? Because usually the face is going to be either, or the chest is going to look like a little darker sometimes than even like your face. It's just exposed to the sun, especially if you wear a lot of like open, you know, areas to your neck and to your chest, like with V tops or that kind of those kind of tops. So once I kind of go in there with that, then I go into my hairline on the top of my forehead and start to warm up just the outer part of my face, and especially right down like where the jawline is, rounding that out. This is when I can sometimes put a little on my ears if you're gonna have your hair kind of tucked back, or if it's really short. Don't forget that sometimes it'll look awkward after you've got all your makeup on and then your ears are off color. So don't forget your ears. So once I have like my bronzer in, then I can go in and start assessing and saying, okay, what's kind of like the most thing that's obvious, that's the most distracting to me. And then that's when I go in with like certain areas of like dark. So I'm going to take my color corrector. If I'm using Seint, I will go in with my tints, or I can go ahead and also use my smaller palette, which is with Celesty, and I can use that for everything I'm doing as well. My foundation that I'm going to put on, color corrector, and even the contour that I'll hit next. But what I'm taking is I kind of just place it where I feel like I need to have either the shade to my skin more even toned, and that's usually like on my cheeks, under the eyes, under the nose. The nose is always usually going to be a little bit more discoloring to the face due to the fact that it just sticks out, and that's where again the sunlight is going to make that darker. So I go in, and instead of kind of like spreading all of that around, I just start tapping in with my brush. And this brush that I'm using here, I will put it down below. I'm forgetting the name of this brush. I think it's called the Buff brush, but I'm not sure. But I will put everything that I'm using in the descriptions below. I am just pressing the cream just everywhere. Just distributing it by pressing it onto the skin. And even a little on my eyelids, whatever leftover I have from what I'm using on my skin. But this is again just kind of taking care of any of those hyperpigmentation, those darker areas that I want to address. And again, it could be different for you. Maybe you're just trying to have a little of the redness that you may have on your skin, and that would be with whatever color corrector that you would choose. If you're ever needing any help with getting the colors that are going to match for you, reach out to me and I will go ahead and I can do a color match for you. I also have one of those as well down below. Very easy to take. You just click on that. There's a few questions in there, and you take a selfie of yourself with no makeup in front of a open window and just snap a picture of yourself, and that's it. Really simple. Okay, so once I'm done with the color correcting, then I go in with like my main shade, and I'm gonna do the same thing, but now just to keep it the one layer, I'm placing it kind of like in places for the most part where I did not put any of that color corrector. So if I feel like I need to even out a little bit more because this shade is closest to my pigment, then I will go over. And the only time that I do is in this particular instance. But again, just taking it and using this basically as one layer. The whole thing is less is more. And you want the makeup to then look at the end like you have no makeup on, right? Just a very nude application to kind of just go about your day. So same thing, I just tap, 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 not to kind of disturb that first placement that I did. I think also around the lips may be tricky. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but you may have kind of sometimes like a discoloring around your mouth area. And we sometimes forget to put like our foundation or our color correcting color around the lips. And so that really does help to kind of make everything look very cohesive. Okay, I am good. Now what I want to go in with is just a little bit of contouring. So I can take my contour stick if that's easiest for you, and I just place that right there, not coming too far down. I just want to have the chiseled cheek, right? And if I don't want to use the stick, I can go back in with my palette and I can use my darkest shade here and place that wherever I want to contour. So I can do my nose. I use a little bit under my lip to give a little bit of a fullness. And then I take my brush and distribute that. So I'm going to use the detailed brush with Seint as well. Using this brush is amazing. Perfect for contouring. It just helps keep that in place. The brush and the way it's shaped is beautiful. All I'm doing is pressing, just pressing right where I placed that contour. And it just helps chisel out a little bit of that cheek. Flip the brush around and then I can just line that out to give myself a contour nose. Same thing with the bottom lip. These brushes, guys, if you're looking for brushes and you are in need for some new brushes and it's been a bit, these Seint brushes are so good. They last a long time. I've had my brushes since 2020, end of 2020. So 5 years, guys, I've had these brushes and they're still intact. The bristles have not fallen out. It's a beautiful double-ended brush. Again, you're in need of a brush, grab one or two of these and you end up with like basically like 4 brushes if you're grabbing 2 of these. And my favorites to use as far as the Seint brushes is definitely the blush and bronzer brush. It's hard to pinpoint which ones are my favorite, but I'd have to choose this one and the detailed brush because you can do so much with the sizes of these brushes. But then there's the eye brushes for eyeshadows, and that's just another whole section. So that's why it's so hard for me to like to really pinpoint what are my okay. And to keep things like really simple with my eyebrows, I will, depending on the mood, sometimes I like to have them use like a brow wax, and sometimes I don't. But I have been just grabbing this if I just want to run out the door, and it's a brow mascara, tinted mascara. So I really like this a lot. It just darkens my brow just enough, but they look kind of put together quickly without having to line them and without having to kind of feel like I have to keep them in place. But it's such a great piece of makeup tool to have. So that one is also bought with Celesty. Now for the choice of my blush, I'm choosing this one. It's called Frenchie. I like it so much, guys. It is so pretty. I usually end up just kind of tapping a little bit onto my the back of my hand, but this is a great color if you are my skin tone type or even lighter, to just kind of give your cheeks a little bit of a flush look if you have lighter of a pigment than me. But if you are my pigment, this will just give your makeup look a very nude look. You know that it almost just, again, looks blush, right? I take a little bit more of that and just apply it to the tip of my nose, just to kind of, again, look a little bit of that cohesiveness. And the brush I'm using is called the blended brush. So soft. These bristles are so soft. Again, with Seint, a double-ended, so I get to use that one as well. But if I wanted to, I could have used the blush and bronzer brush. But this brush is amazing. They're all so good. Okay, so let's go ahead and line the lips. And then the last thing's going to be my eyeshadow. But the lips I am using with Celesty, also a lip liner. I believe this is waterproof. I'll double check, but again, I will put all of the items below. Okay, and I just tap that out, and I go in with Frenchie again, just for that nude look. Isn't that pretty? You can tap a little bit more of a pink color if you choose, if you want a little bit more of a pink color, but I think it is so pretty. It keeps, again, everything very neutral, very nude, and that's the look that, you know, you want to go for, like on just your everyday kind of put together makeup. The last is just going to be the eyeshadow, and I have a beautiful color called Valencia. Look how gorgeous this is. Again, this is the eyeshadow brush, and this is going to give your lids a little bit of just a color to it, but not like you've made a obvious decision to put a shade. It's just going to round off the eye to make it look more open, because it's like a very subtle skin color tone to your eyes. Again, if you have my pigment, this is going to show very little. It's almost going to be like you're using a powder that has a tint to it. but that's all I want to do. I don't want to have anything that's popping out. Obviously, I'm going for a very nude look, makeup looking like everything is in place, I'm put together. It just looks effortlessly. So this is a beautiful, beautiful shade, and it's called Valencia. And of course I have my lashes already on, so I don't have to worry about my mascara. But guys, that is it. Really simple from beginning to the ends of your makeup look, right? I hope that whatever I've shared as far as the products, that you're willing to go ahead and try for yourself. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I'd be happy to answer anything, and I pay attention to all the, especially after I put up a video, I am looking back and seeing who needs any help with anything. So leave the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. My pleasure is to be here to help you with any tips as we're continuing to age, so that we're feeling like we've got a handle on things, right? So I will be here now in the next week or so. I will have a before and after this conclusion of this video. Love you. Bye.